Am I recording? Hello, EVO. I'm kind of recording, but oh well. You're welcome to join in. You like the earphones? Anyway, this is going to be a short video or a long video. I don't know. Huh. Anyway, let's go talk about Tesla. I studied Tesla in the 80s, okay? 70s and 80s books. I come across Colorado Spring Notes and other publications, as well as Thomas Lee Richardson's book and many other books. So when you're rebuilding or trying to copy stuff of Tesla's, you got to do it like they did a long time ago, or you could wind up in big problems, especially fires and sparks that don't want to work. I kind of found that out when I was trying to do a shortcut, but I did rebuild a disruptive discharge transformer and other devices like coils and that, and luckily you got a perch of wire, that kind of wire, okay? North Star Salvage had lots of it. So I built everything to the specifications of Tesla. Exactly how I described it in his book, the disruptive discharge transformer. Some coils, variable inductors, insulators, balls, copper balls, and brass balls, and transformers, and things like that. Did a lot of work, holy mackerel. And luckily, I would find from Adnac Salvage on Alexander Street in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Adnac Salvage, run by Carol Gaddison, Phil Gaddison, and Freddie Putt-Putt, as they called him, who later I would attend the hospital where he passed away from cancer. And Phil had a heart attack and died, and then Carol Gaddison and I were close. She wanted me to meet the prez of the stock market in Vancouver, British Columbia, but she vanished. She had a storage area full of naval stuff. Trying to find Carol Gaddison, no, I can't find anything. Maybe somebody out there is a detective on the Tesla trails, and along with Thomas Lee Richardson, hopefully they find this information. But some of the things I came across from Gaddison Machinery, or Adnac Salvage, an old house with plates of iron on the floor where they stored buckets of stuff, and wow, I sure got a lot from them anyway. Phil found me a motor, the dynamotor device that's shown in a video on BCTV NewsHour, okay? I guess that's the only evidence I have of having it, but somebody stole it when I was in Germany. So they stole a lot of stuff, by the way. Who they are, I don't know yet, but I'll keep investigating. And I'll make it public who stole the stuff. But anyway, it was beautifully done. I restored it. I traded for a model takedown 94 Winchester that I restored a long time ago. I traded Phil for it, and he delivered it. He said I should have it, and he had other things too that I acquired. Big brass loop antennas and all kinds of weird and wonderful things. So if you're trying to replicate any of the Tesla stuff, be careful. I had one time a fire shoot out of the concrete floor. It's pencil thin at starting point and shot up into something like about that wide in flames, and I don't know to this day why. I think I mentioned George Hathaway a long time ago. But luckily I had a CO2 gas fire extinguisher, and I hit it hard and got it out and turned everything off. I'm inspired to make this video by Bob Greener, who talks about the flames and stuff that come off the Wardenclyffe transmitter tower. All those half hemispheres are all over the toroid. It's to broadcast the information out, get more surface area for transmitting power out. goes down to a secondary coil. And I think Bob would talk about flameouts. Oh yeah, we had more flameouts too. That's a term Alex Pizarro used, called flameouts, because we had flameouts. Usually a kind of a ball of smoky, gassy, stinky flame stuff from high voltage, high frequency, along with RF. Yeah, I forgot about that. Alex Pizarro and I would witness these things. And he'd probably mention it to George Hathaway. Yeah, that was intriguing stuff. Another time we had a capacitor explode. I mean, it was a big, heavy, round thing like that, and boom! Unfortunately, that was wired by George Lissacase when I moved to 13th Street. It was sponsored by Boeing Aerospace, Aaron Kovacs. All that stuff went to court, BC Supreme Court. Ownership of the lab, and I won. Except that they were allowed in to work at the same time. This is all going on. Rolf Kipling, Kowalski and Company lawyers. Yen remembers them quite. No, Dobson, the other lawyer. I'm mentioning all this because I'm trying to get this. People are interested in it for doing this film stuff. But anyway, and to help others that trying to replicate Tesla stuff, you got to do it exact. You got such things as double cloth wire, single cloth wire. Got a percha wire used for high voltage secondaries. My disrupted discharge had 2 primaries and 2 secondaries with big insulators. The only, I think, George might have pictures of it, but Los Alamos took slides of it and that kind of thing, and I can put that up, I suppose. But yeah, so Bob was talking about type of flameouts, which is quite interesting. And I read it too a long time ago when I had those books. I studied those books a lot, and the device I show on BCTV News is exactly what Tesla had, made by Western Electric Company. Has a picture dead, or not a picture, but a drawing of it dead on. It's exactly the same as I had. And where did Freddie said an old man he thought was Tesla came up with some stuff one time a long time ago. I doubt it, but you know, why would be Tesla be in Vancouver? Although Thomas Lee Richardson is in Vancouver, friend of Tesla, who wrote the book Tesla's Achievements, and struck a medallion and talked about Tesla on radio, and his house is full of Tesla artifacts, by the way. I like to mention this because a lot of people don't believe what the hell I'm saying, and I think I'm some kind of crazy person, but oh well. Am I still recording? Yes, I hope so. Yes, good. Okay, get this out of the way. Gotta do some other things here that requires my dressing up again. But anyway. So, unfortunately, in this day and age, a lot of this, even this stuff here, is on eBay, but maybe it sells, maybe it doesn't. It sits there for years, by the way. Never sells. And if you got local pickup, it'll never sell. So, I know somebody back east who does the same as I am, a younger fellow too. Brilliant guy. He has a YouTube channel called Ham Radio Diesel and Junk, he calls it. He makes me a video once in a while so that I'm just explaining what he's doing with some of the stuff he wants to ship to me and did ship to me. It's beautiful stuff, and I really appreciate it. And I'm looking today for a transformer for him that I haven't found one yet, for a AR-88. He said he smoked his transformer in his AR-88 he got from the Hamfest, but I think maybe if he just uncouples it from everything and just put 110 and see if it still gets warm or hot or smokes, we'll know for sure it's cooked. Because sometimes a vacuum tube, a rectifier tube, like a 5U4 or one of the famous ones, or a capacitor, sometimes will short to B plus and smoke things up. It's just one of those things that happens. I hope Because I mentioned I usually use a variac sometimes and plug stuff in. I got stuff that works. Had a few smoke jobs, but I just replaced the capacitors. I'm usually there watching, see if there's any crackling sound. They use a radio too to pick up any static sparks, something like that. You put it on. Just put it above broadcast and put it close to whatever you're doing. You can hear all the different weird little sounds these things make if there's a problem. Very handy tool. Gives you a sixth sense of what you're doing. You use this for motors, machine tools, storms, and other things. It's simple. It's better than carrying a big, heavy 100-pounder around trying to listen. You can, but it takes a lot of energy. And all these things have unique properties, and the old fellows. As well as the spook radios that are quite unique, like I just showed you folks when I was listening to cell phone calls. Somebody was going to go outside and then they got broke up and all that stuff. And I was way up there in the high band. I used to do that in my apartment. I had a tube radio that I could listen to cell phone calls and other crazy things. Unfortunately, that is in Germany. Germans bought some of my stuff. They'll never know how to use it. Not in a million years, so they should return some of the stuff. It doesn't work for them, so oh well. They wanted to buy my lab and all this stuff. I was right in the middle of moving to the Gulf of Mexico, and they kind of came in late, and a lot of stuff already was gone. Gun collection went to the USA, radio gear, some machine tools. Had help of the ATF and FBI who helped out in making sure everything is perfect before crossing the border. Anyway, long story, but back to Tesla. Yeah, so you could hurt yourself if you do what you're doing or cause a fire. You gotta be meticulous, you know, like I'm kind of meticulous. It comes to this old stuff and exact copy of everything. Back to Adnac salvage on that dynamotor. Freddie was talking about this old man. I was thinking he thought it was Tesla, but as I mentioned before, no, I don't think so. You never know. I mean, a lot of things are forgotten about. Why would Thomas Lee Richardson have a house full of Tesla artifacts? Books, unpublished stuff, furniture even. I was truly amazed. And who votes for me, if they're still around, it's Steve Turner and Stan Rejec, R-E-J-C, who took care of Thomas Lee Richardson. He works at Amic Salvage, last I heard. Another place I haunted. And that's where I got permission to take apart a 90mm anti-aircraft gun, which I did do. Should have taken the whole damn thing home, but oh well. I think I got a few parts from it. Still, it's shown, the traverse mechanism is shown on that newsreel. I'm putting my hand over it like this and talking to Alan Edwards, so that's part of it, but anyway. So, I made a small version of the video on what I duplicated of Tesla's, because Alan Edwards asked me and he mentioned, goes over it with the camera crew. You'll see it. Okay, so I should shut up and get some sunlight on me. That being said, just don't shut up and go somewhere. Little Johnny Cupcake.